So this is the main Voxy homepage. And before this, learners would complete a proficiency assessment so we would know exactly what their level of English proficiency is. I have 4 assigned courses to me because this is what it would be like for your learners. Beginner English for kids and teens. And if you come in here, you can see the end of this course, students will be able to read short announcements, instructions, and menus, understand short conversations about daily life and personal information, communicate about food, travel, and communicate with food, travel, and health professionals to meet basic needs. These all map to the can-do statements on the Common European Framework of Reference. There's a whole unit on introductions. Learners go through letters, numbers and money, personal information. And if you want more information about any of these lessons, you can click in here and see the full sequence of lessons in this particular course. Then after they finish beginner English for kids and teens, we have high beginner English for kids and teens, and then low intermediate English for kids and teens, and then foundational middle school English for academic purposes. And the goal of having these skills-based courses at different proficiency levels is because your learners are all going to come in with different levels of English proficiency, and this lets us put them in the course that makes the most sense for their level, with the ultimate goal of getting to the English for academic purposes course. And this course starts with informational texts, literature and fiction, poetry and drama, studies and reports, and academic writing. And we can go through here. I'll enroll in this course just so you can get an idea of what kind of content is in here. We'll put it in here. So this account is a low beginner account. It's going to give me a lexical priming exercise first. So first it's going to ask me to just identify the vocabulary. So I'm hearing words and I have to click on them.
Baked. Cookies.
And if I click on the wrong word, it will give me another chance until I get the words right. We just want learners to see the words.
Far longer. Space station.
And get used to what they sound like and look like before they see them in a text. So I've seen the words and identified them. Now I have a short text. Astronauts on the International Space Station have baked the first cookies in space. So I've seen all the words. Now
Baked.
I can click on them.
Far longer.
I can get definitions. Learners can have their language set to their mother tongue, so they can see this in either Korean or Japanese. So who baked the cookies? Astronauts. It takes much more time. You'll see that there are navigational instructions in Korean, and if I go into this lesson, I'll show you the keywords. This is very basic. This is for learners at the beginning. We're going to have to do the bubble game again, but it'll be quick.
Is.
And you'll see the words are super simple at the very beginning levels.
Hi.
There are 13 different types of these activities, and they adapt in real time based on learner performance. So you can see here, if I click on name and I click up, I can get a Google Translate translation for that keyword.
Mile. Mice. Meal. My.
Here they have to replace the text with the keywords that are little audio icons.
It is.
And so now I finished that lesson. It tells me how I did on those skills, and then I added all of these words to my word bank. So this is the word bank, and this is a personalized archive of all the keywords I've seen in my lesson. So each student's going to have a word bank that is unique to their experience in the platform. And you can see, we see the words we just saw. Astronauts, and it shows us the space that the in context in which we originally encountered that word. Baked, cookies, and we just saw those words a few minutes ago, but you can imagine a student who's been working here for a few months can come into the word bank and sort and filter the words based on their strength and practice them, and also practice pronouncing them. There's a pronunciation feature here as well. So let's try this. Far longer. Good. But if I didn't do it correctly, I would get feedback on where I put primary lexical stress. That's the single biggest predictor of comprehensibility for second language learners, is where they put the stress on individual syllables. So that's where we give them feedback as they're working in the platform. Students will come here and they will see classes with your teachers that are set up, and your teachers will have as a lesson a link to one of the lessons that's in the sequenced curriculum for the students, and they'll go into those classes at specified times. So this will all be your teachers and your schedule. You'll be managing all of this. And if you want to see examples of those classes, I can click on a link and show you what our group class experience is like.
Let's take a moment to go around and say hello. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, how are you today?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Great, thanks for asking. Jacqueline, where do you live?
I'm from Veracruz, Mexico.
I see. How's the weather today? Is it sunny?
Yes, sunny and very hot.
The students and teachers would see themselves changing size based on who is talking. So I have data on all of my students, and teachers just see their own students. This is an admin view. A teacher view would have just the students that teacher was responsible for, and they can actually go through and they can schedule their classes and attend classes and do all of that through the teacher platform, through the admin center. And what we do is teach teachers to actually go in here and see what their students are doing. Like, they can go to that course and unit report where they have the assigned units inside of the assigned courses and see how much progress students are making. So when they teach those small group classes, they can teach students based on what students have done in the platform before the small group class. Students have the performance page, and they can see a performance overview. Learners can see their progress in the units. They can see their level. This learner needs to take the proficiency assessment in order to see what the level is. It shows you how the proficiency level maps. And then over time, you can see your historical proficiency level. So learners can see their performance on the skills. They can see how much time they've spent in various parts of the platform. And then if I go here, I'm actually in the proficiency assessment here, so I'm not going to keep going. I'm not going to make you watch me take a proficiency assessment, but it looks at grammar, it looks at listening, and it looks at reading, and the grammar is really integrated: reading, grammar, and vocabulary. I can print a certificate here. I can choose the date range for the certificate. And so this tells me that my proficiency is this. This is my level compares across those